So I had to put a title on my presentation: edifying disaster, successful failure. And I want to talk how much I learned without completing the course build. And it's a healthy reminder that the shift online is really hard. And we're all learning using different pedagogical muscles and utilizing technology to make this a better experience for our students. And I feel that really strongly because this is the course I'm teaching, Film and Media Studies 85B, is a core course. It's history of broadcasting. And often everybody comes in with their preferred medium, what they're very interested in studying. So I think it's important in classes where someone's just getting their introduction to film, someone who's just getting their introduction to doing television studies, which includes streaming, by the way, and or digital media, that they just appreciate how to delineate the medium, but also just to gain a greater appreciation of it. Okay. This is the welcome page that Fanny did. I did a little welcome video, and I finally got a way to use that filter. So I was inside of a TV. But one of the things that I explained to them clearly is going from 1948 to 2021 means stuff is going to get left out. And if I wanted to try to dip into radio or dip into digital media studies, it would make it even more difficult. But so this little video goes along with the Who Are You assignment, and I did it via video. I'm having my TAs do it via video as well, and it's just getting to know people's pronouns, what you prefer to be called, what do you hope to get out of the course, what's your earliest memory of television, and what's your guilty pleasure. And I find, at least for me, when I've listened to students do this, it makes it much easier to remember who they are. Now, with 245 students, that's not necessarily going to be the same thing, but I do think it enables the TAs to get a much better idea of our group. Well, I put this picture here because I just got a new dog yesterday, and so he's getting used to me, and I'm getting used to him, and he doesn't like me being on the computer. So we'll figure it out. His name's John Harris Haggins. So you can see here the Who Are You assignment is first. Again, I tried to connect it, and my biggest dilemma was, how do I get them to listen to a history lecture? Even though it's a TV history lecture, how do I get them to listen to it? I just didn't believe that they were going to listen to me lecture for 90 minutes. So what I did with the reading and with the lecture, with the reading, the lectures, and the screening, there are usually 3 different sets: a lecture and reading. So it's about an hour in each section, maybe a little bit less, but it's lecture and screening. and lecture and screening and lecture and screening. So the deal is this is asynchronous because we have a lot of international students, a lot of first generation students who are doing their degree while working, and have been kind of erratic for a lot of students. And so I just decided in a core course, I had to be, the majority has to be asynchronous. But the discussion, and so pretty much anytime between Monday and Thursday, they can watch this. They can do it all together. They can do it one at a time, or, one section at a time. But it just seemed important to me to let it kind of be up to them in terms of how they can do it. However, I did feel like it was necessary to have some kind of actual engagement. And so students have signed up for discussion sections, and those are synchronous. If there's a student whose work schedule changes, if there's a student who, things happen during a pandemic. I wanted to be as flexible as possible. So I will have sort of a floating section if there are students who couldn't attend. And so that also doesn't put a hardship on my TAs, because they're students as well. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward. The one thing I did try to incorporate are bringing other people in to talk. Like, I'm surprised by how many people during their third year don't know how to do research. And usually sophomore, junior year, that's when they're going to take this part of the core. And so I'm bringing in Jenna DeFore, who is the research librarian for visual arts. And we're going to sort of talk through a setup for their first writing assignment, which is getting a variety of different kinds of sources and looking at the difference between the two. Okay.
5 minutes.
Okay. I did the same thing with Allison Perlman, who's one of my colleagues who is absolutely fabulous and does a lot of public policy related to media. Again, the discussion board is sort of directed in terms of the overview of the week, but there is a class participation section that's something that starts in section but can be extended outside of it with either in pairs, groups, or by themselves. So again, I just want students to not feel like they're alone in this, because I really admired what the first person said about this is a horrible time, and we need to make them feel as supported as possible. And I use Calendly. People can sign up online to come and see me, and I try very hard to be as accessible as possible. And my final slide, Fanny is awesome.